in Europe and in the United Kingdom where I'm from, the age of consent is 16, and I did sleep with a 16-year-old.
Man, listen, I am sure we all met that one person at the job or in college who we knew for a fact had bodies underneath their basement, but we just couldn't prove it. I know I've had my experiences, right? It's just something about the person's aura, the person's energy, to where you're like, man, you're either a chomo, a psychopath murderer, or you're just hella weird. It's one of the three, right? We've all met those people like that before. And man, listen, I had that feeling about Russell Brand this entire time. He was just a weird and odd individual. I have that feeling about a few people in Hollywood, but Russell Brand is for sure one of those folks who I feel like he would get caught for doing some weird shit. And lo and behold, ladies and gentlemen, we have a new Russell Brand interview to where I feel like he's actually just kind of destroying his own he's destroying his own career. As he admits and as he attempts to defend having relations with someone who's around the 16-year-old age. And you won't imagine the defense that Mr. Brand is going to put up for putting inside of a 16-year-old girl. Listen, this shit is insane. But let's go ahead and check this out. We got Mr. Russell Brand on some interview that's heavily right-leaning, and it seems as though just because he associates with their beliefs, they're giving him a pass, and it's kind of fucking weird. Let's check this out. So Russell Brand came on to the Megyn Kelly show, and, you know, he had a conversation with Megyn Kelly. You know what I'm saying? And I really don't think she was assuming that Russell was going to go into the direction that he did, because she begins the interview kind of buffering everything out. All the allegations that he's faced in the past. Well, it seems like your government tried to do a smear campaign on you because of certain beliefs. And it seems as though, you know, we were too quick to jump the gun. You're actually a good guy, aren't you, Russell? And boy, when Russell opens his mouth, I know she really regretted bringing him on this show. Let's go ahead and start with the first clip.
Then came all the allegations, the alleged sexual assault and rape and blah, blah, blah. And it first came in this UK, quote, documentary, and they use that term very loosely there and here. And I'll tell you up front, I was angry when I saw that, because they did it in such a compelling way that, especially the stuff about the 16-year-old, that I was angry with you. I believed what they said, or at least believed that there was enough smoke, there might be fire, and said to the audience at the time, you know, the conservative movement doesn't need somebody like that. Like, we love what he's saying about COVID, but if this is a guy who's sexually assaulting women and taking advantage of 16-year-olds, we need to move on without him. And felt that anger for a couple of years around you, because I just thought it was so reckless and it was so wrong. And I knew that it might be false, but it seemed overwhelming, the way that they presented the evidence. And then the more I looked at it, the more I started to recognize I might not know the full story, because since then I have seen what the British government has done, what my own government.
So let's just pause it right there. She's extending a branch out there. Listen, Russell, we know you like children. It's okay. We both have the same enemy. This is politics. We're going to band together because we have the same policies that we like. We're going to band together, and we're just going to roll over it as if it's a smear campaign against your character. Russell, grab my hand. We will do this together, Russell. And I don't know if there was a script outline or if she just assumed that he was going to go with the narrative that she presented. But God damn it. When I tell you she put up the alley-oop for Russell Brand to catch it and be like, yes, I was set up. He threw that shit all away. The response he gave is actually, let's just see what he says. So she's out here apologizing. I'm sorry. It was the machine. It was the UK machine of Democrats too that were just trying to smite you down because you had different opinions. Listen, across the aisle, any political affiliation that you have, we should all be able to come together and say chomos, regardless of their affiliation and opinion, should be smitten down to hell. And we shouldn't have any leniency for these motherfuckers. They should be on the what do they call it? They should be on the shooting line, in my opinion. But anyways.
Has done to certain figures that it doesn't like. And I have an enormous amount of open-mindedness to you are being railroaded and attacked by people for reasons having nothing to do with actual facts, but with your right-leaning stance on certain issues, your growing prominence as a figure in a bunch of discussions that they find very threatening. And honestly, I just reevaluated the whole thing and thought I need to be open-minded to having been wrong in my initial assessments, and I'm interested in a conversation about it all.
Thank you, Megyn Kelly, for giving me the grace to address in particular your anger, which is entirely legitimate and recognizable. And the plain fact of it is that in Europe and in the United Kingdom where I'm from, the age of consent is 16. And I did sleep with a 16-year-old when I was 30. But when...
Oh my God, bro. He couldn't even hold it together. They gave him the alley-oop, bro. But he's so much of a disgusting human fucking being that, you know, the age of consent is actually 16. So I really didn't do anything wrong. Oh my. You know the age of consent in Belize? Guess. Where I'm from. 16. You know what we call people who fuck girls at that age? Fucking weirdos. And if you get caught for doing some shit out there like that, they're probably gonna fuck you up. It don't matter if the age of consent is 16, you're still a weirdo. But anyways, the age of consent was 16, so you know, I was immature. Let's finish the rest of this video.
Is that in Europe and in the United Kingdom where I'm from, the age of consent is 16, and I did sleep with a 16-year-old when I was 30. But when I was 30, I was a very different person. I was a lot younger, and I was an immature 30-year-old. Consensual sex actually...
He was an immature 30-year-old. More than double this girl's age. I'm sorry, double this girl's age. He was an immature 30-year-old. God bless you. You know, shit. I'm an immature 28-year-old. Fuck it, right? Does that mean I should be... You know what I mean? Okay, exactly. You fucking weirdo.
With a variety of people, when there is a strong power differential, as there is when you're a famous man that has the ability to attract women that I had at that time, I think involves exploitation. I think it is exploitative. I recognize that my sexual conduct in the past was selfish, and I did not apply enough consideration, barely any, I suppose, really, to how that sex was affecting other people. The only matter that I would contest, while acknowledging, firstly, your right to be angry as a woman who, given what I know about you and the industry you've worked in, I'm sure that you have personal reasons for feeling aggrieved towards powerful men, because in spite of occasionally men coming to the forefront of the culture, whether it's the most hideous gargoyle villains as rendered and portrayed, or the more sort of innocuous and party boy style exploiters of women, a category that I suppose I must fall into. You
think you're the party boy, the good-looking party boy who just is good-looking and has money, so it's a bit predatory. Man, get him the fuck out of here. No, you're the gargoyle. You're the first analogy that you were describing. You're an old, crusty man that likes young little you fucking creep. Oh, you know, there's certain archetypes like the crusty old gargoyle, as they would say, or the hip party boy who, bitch, man, listen, you need to go to hell is what you need to do. Shit is crazy. Age of consent, my ass. Listen, this interview blew up in her face because I know for a fact Miss Megyn Kelly wasn't expecting this guy to come out here and be like, yeah, I'm a pedophile. She did not expect that.
plainly something that exists within our industry, and one might say culture at large. While I was transgressing lines of being a person that was sleeping with people because I had availability to not only, by the way, waitresses and strippers and fans and people, but like, you know, powerful women as well, or like powerful professional women that had gravitas and status and power, I was only really thinking of myself. And obviously I have to be careful of contempt of court, because that's a law in my country where I can't say anything publicly that might in any way influence a potential jury. But obviously, as soon as I've said I'm not guilty, what I'm in effect saying is I had consensual sex with lots of women, and you can argue that that's not appropriate. But the age of consent is an important thing. Mm-hmm. The ability to consent is an important thing, like i.e. drunk people can't consent, mentally ill people can't consent, children can't consent. Like, consent is what's important. And what fame gave me and what my addiction fueled was opportunity for endless consent, which led me to be a hedonist.
An opportunity for endless consent. That's bullshit. Man, you are worried that girl and you know it. And that's why you don't want to talk about it, because you're talking about, oh, it's an open case. I don't want to, you know, influence a jury. Bitch, you are out here doing damage control, and I feel like this is the worst thing you could have done. I always knew this little fuckface was a weirdo. You ever seen Get Him to the Greek? Or Arthur, all the movies he acts in, he's the same character of himself. And that's how I knew this guy's kind of a fucking weirdo. And he hangs out with people in Hollywood, if you know, you know, that are also weird and have things looming around their names. There's another actor, Asian dude, I forgot his name, that we're going to get into eventually, best friends with Buddy. And he's a fucking weirdo too, if you guys know his name. But let's just keep it going. Let's not get too sidetracked.
And a fool and an exploiter of women. And that is wrong. And that is something that needs to be redeemed and addressed and atoned for. What I'm obviously not only querying, but violently or aggressively or assertively opposing is the idea that this is a judicial criminal matter where consent was overridden. Actually, what happened is consent was directed. That's what being famous and being, if I may say, forgive me, charismatic affords you, is the ability to direct consent. That doesn't mean it's right. It's actually not right. It's wrong. It's a sin. It's an expression of selfishness and false idolatry. I provided a lot of material through my foolishness and my selfishness around women that meant that when I became not a person that was celebrated by the culture as a representative of individualism, hedonism, you're the most important thing in the world, there's no essentially acting like if there is a God, you're it. That's what the culture wants you to believe. It doesn't want you to have a higher authority to which you submit, that none of us have control over, that we're not the final say on what's right and wrong.
I'm just gonna, okay, all right. Holy shit, he's just spilling out absolute fucking nonsense out of his gullet. But basically, she just gobbles that shit up. She loves it. Megyn Kelly, oh yeah, oh, you support our side of the political aisle? You can be a chomo. That's basically all she says. Gobbling that shit up. Gobbling that shit up. Loving it. All the bullshit he's feeding her, she's swallowing that shit. But anyways, this is the actual article that kind of indicates what actually happened with that 16-year-old. So I want to go through it. This is an old article. Let's read what happened. Because, you know, we have Arthur over here. I'm sorry, Russell Brand, making it sound all poetic and wonderful. Meanwhile, he was stuffing his dick down somebody's throat, forcibly causing them to punch him to get away. That's apparently the report. But let's read this. In the lawsuit filed Friday in New York and obtained by Insider, a woman referred to as Jane Doe, also an actor, claimed that Russell Brand, exposed himself to her in full view of the cast and crew. According to the suite, later the same day, Brand... shit, hold on. I can't see. All right, here we go. According to the suit, later the same day, Brand later followed her into the bathroom and assaulted her as a crew member guarded the door from the outside. As a result of the sexual abuse, quote, I suffered and continue to suffer extreme embarrassment, shame, and fear, the suit read. The New York complaint was filed just weeks after 4 women came forward with allegations of their own against the actor. In the joint investigation by British outlets The Times, The Sunday Times, and Channel 4, 4 women accused Brand of sexual assault between 2006 and 2013. The guy was out here stealing pussy from bitches. Robbing pussy from bitches is what it seems like. Give me that shit. You know what I mean? Hold on, continuing. One of whom said she was 16 and Brand was in his early 30s when he forced her to perform oral sex on him. And that gets a lot more graphic if you dig into it. Like he literally forced her mouth open and put dick inside her mouth. So let's just say this is true. He says it's true. He said he did some shit with a 16-year-old. Is she lying about the R word or did she actually consent? That's the part that we're not sure about. But knowing this guy, kind of feels like he probably forced her. Allegedly. I'm not saying he did. It just feels like if you know who Russell Brand is as a person and his behavior, you would see it too. But anyways, folks, you guys let me know what you think in the comments. Just a quick video to tap in. We'll see where this goes. You know what I mean? We'll see where this goes. You probably won't see the big Brand in a lot of movies going forward. I hope you enjoy his acting powers because it's over. The shit's over for him. I'll see you real soon. Peace.